the UE Red Warriors are out to prove that their second place finish in the UAAP is no fluke. The UC Webmasters have traveled all the way from Cebu, and the CESAFI runners-up plan on making this trip worthwhile by earning a win and advancing to the Elite Eight.
Good day from the arena in San Juan City for ABS-CBN Sports, continuing live and exclusive coverage of the 2009 Philippine Collegiate Champions League, only here on Studio 23. My name is Aaron Ataide, and joining me is Chris Soler as we will break down today's game, because all our fans in Cebu must be extremely happy, because we're going to be seeing two teams from the CESAFI go up against a pair of teams coming from Metro Manila, as the CESAFI runner-up University of Cebu takes on the UAAP runner-up University of the East in our first game, while the 9-time CESAFI champion University of the Visayas battles the NCAA's Mapua Institute of Technology. First up, though, UC makes its Sweet 16 debut when it clashes with UE. The winner of this will be going up against FEU. So what can we expect here today, Chris?
Good afternoon, Aaron. Good afternoon, Philippines, especially Cebu. It's indeed an exciting day. University of Cebu coming off a very, very good run in the CESAFI, just falling short of their first championship, losing to the University of the Visayas Green Lancers. This is a tough team, and it's anchored by a 6'9" giant.
Let's take a look now at the bracket so far and see how the teams are doing and who is advancing so far here in the PCCL.
Well, first up here, we have Ateneo de Manila defeating Lyceum, erected a lead as big as 27 points, however, scored just 5 points in the fourth quarter. Nonetheless, still escaping with a 10-point win. And next up here, San Beda College just annihilating the two-time NASCU champion San Sebastian Cavite, Baycats of Egay Macaraya. Not so much a respectable showing, however, they'll be raring for more. This was San Sebastian Cavite's second straight Sweet 16 appearance.
Also, the winner of this will be playing against FEU in the Group Y Bracket 2 part of it. Of course, Letran also moving past DLSU earlier within this week. But let's take a look now at how the UE Red Warriors got here. Of course, they are one of only two teams to have actually won the PCCL crown twice. They won it back in 2002 and in 2006. Last year, they lost to the eventual PCCL champions, the DLSU Green Archers. But here, this year, they're looking to take some revenge here on PCCL.
The UE Red Warriors were in the Elite Eight. They lost that very, very close matchup to the De La Salle Green Archers. As you said, eventually the champions of the 2008 PCCL. Of course, in this game, expect the big three, Pariliagas, Paul Lee, and Elmer Espiritu to deliver both offensively and defensively for the Red Warriors.
Let's send it over now to Div Atendido when she had time to interview assistant coach Rene Baena.
I am here with Coach Rene Baena, who will be calling the shots today for the UE Red Warriors. Hi, Coach. How did you prepare for the PCCL tournament? Did you join any other tournaments or any other tune-up games for that matter?
Well, basically, wala masyado. Dahil right after the UAP, we took almost a 2-week break. Then pagbalik naman namin, parang normal practice lang. Plus the exit of some of our key players. As we all know that Espiritu and Acuña went to play now for the Philippine Patriots. Then si Rudy Linganay and Toto Bandayong. Well, naisip na namin University of Cebu almost a week ago. Siguro pagkatapos ng UAP Wars, medyo alam naman ng lahat na natakot tayo ron. Medyo naglaylo ng konti. Pero nung pumasok yung idea ng PCCL, nung 1 week na yun, then we tried to ask people, yung team ng University of Cebu, no? Pero siyempre at the back of our minds, we know how the UC players would play. Alam namin na medyo, should we say, rugged type ang basketball ng mga Cebuanos. At alam namin we'll be up against a very good team.
Well, let's take a look now at the other side of things. University of Cebu is one of 3 CESAFI teams who have made it in this year's PCCL Sweet 16. And UC, of course, is coached by former pro sharpshooter Roel Gomez, reaching the Sweet 16 for the first time in their existence, rather.
Just like last season where we had 3 CESAFI teams in the Sweet 16, this time around the UC Webmasters are by the University of San Jose Recoletos Jaguars, who were in this stage last season. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, this 6'9" giant is named June Mar Fajardo. He averaged 19.8 points a game in the CESAFI finals. Outside of him, there's a very potent outside shooting team, in a way a mirror image of the UE Red Warrior.
Let's take a deeper look now into this UE Webmasters team as Trishka Echeverry was able to catch up with head coach Roel Gomez.
I am here with Coach Roel Gomez, head coach of the University of Cebu Webmasters. Good afternoon po, Coach Roel.
Good afternoon.
Coach, nasabi niyo po kanina na marami hong players sa inyo na first time hong pumunta dito sa Manila. How excited are you and your team for today?
Yeah, makita mo naman yung, especially yung practice nila, and sana yung excitement nila magiging aggressive yun during the game. So hopefully magkaganon ang mangyari.
Coach, so alam niyo po na malakas din na team po ang UE, both finished second in your respective league. So ano ang nakikita ninyong advantages ninyo at advantages nila? Paano kayo mag-adjust?
So para sa akin, dapat silang mag-adjust sa amin. Kailangan kami mag-establish ng tempo para, kasi sila nakikita namin. So the other day sometimes sa TV, sa Cebu, pero sila never nila kami nakilala. So may advantage kami, meron disadvantage because sa venue nga, malamig. So hopefully maka-adjust sila dyan, walang problema yan.
Alright, thank you, Coach. Good luck po. Once again, that was Coach Roel Gomez of the UC Webmasters.
First, let's call on the entire lineup for the first runner-up of the 2009 Season 72 of the UAAP. And number 13, Garrick Ayala. Number 17, Jai Flores. Number 18, Ken Asibar. And now the starting 5 for the UE Red Warriors. At forward, number 9, Elmer Espiritu. Forward, number 21, Val Acuna. Center, number 15, Patty Liagas. Point guard number 14, Rafi Reyes. And at shooting guard number 20, Paul Lee. Head coach of the Red Warriors, Lawrence Johnson. And now here's the complete lineup of the runner-up in the 2009 CESAFI in Cebu. Earned a slot in the Sweet 16 by winning the Cebu Zonal Games, eliminating the Adamson University Falcons and the University of San Jose Recoletos. Here are the University of Cebu Webmasters. Number 5, Rani Tano. Number 6, Kevin Kilantang. Number 7, Arvin Gomez. Number 8, Verance Bernil. Number 10, Keith Kayanong. Number 11, Robinson Mohammed. Number 14, Kirby Cabrera. Number 16, Val Cueva. Number 19, Pompeo Miranda. And now the starting 5 for the Webmasters. At forward, number 4, Barnett Rogado. At forward, number 17, Romel Luceno. Guard number 9, Jansen Abelia. At guard number 12, Kelvin Julian. And at center number 15, June Mar Fajardo. Head coach of the UC Webmasters, Roel Gomez. And now may we call on the chairman of the Philippine Collegiate Champions League, Mr. Ray Gamboa, and the smart representative, Mr. Christian Luanzon, the center court, to award to the team captains the plaque of recognition presented by PLDT and SMART as members of the Elite Sweet 16. May we call on Elmer Espiritu, team captain of the UE Red Warriors. And the team captain of the UC Webmasters, please. That's number 9, Jansen Abelia. Thank you very much, Mr. Ray Gamboa and Mr. Christian Luanzon. You may now shake hands at center court. And a reminder, the starting fives of both teams, please remain on the court. We're about to start the ball game. The officials for this ball game, Hector Villanueva, John Capiles, and Jeff Coblat. Starting fives, please, UC and UE.
Sportsmanship, handshaking right away. And these are your starting five for today's game. As you can see, UE not pulling anything out of their starting five. This is practically their starting five all throughout the entire season of the UAP, going with that same lineup here today.
And Aaron, it's the same holds for the UC Webmasters. This is their typical starting five, save for instance, of course, for Abelia, who usually Jansen Abelia comes off the bench, and Kevin Kilantang starts at the small forward position. However, this guy is a dangerous shooter at 5'11" and can very much complement this big guy over here.
For the people that not really, following Cebu basketball, this is actually a very, very close game. Both of these teams have a very good chance of pulling this one out.
I think this is one of the more evenly matched matchups or ties in the Sweet 16. So expect both teams to really slug it out, come out strong. And as we see here, the UE Red Warriors with that patented 2-3 zone.
Fajardo in the paint, kicks it back out. Three-pointer from UC, it's nothing but the front iron. Fajardo cleans it up, and one right there. So June Mar Fajardo making his presence felt right from the get-go. And a lot of people might not know this about June Mar Fajardo, but this guy can play.
This guy is not just about height or about heft. He's, as we've mentioned time and time again, he's 6'9". He's in his third year for the Webmasters. A very good post-up player. He has developed from becoming just that lamppost, so to speak, down the lane into one of the most explosive post presences, not only in Cebu but in the Philippines.
But again, I have not been able to follow the Cebu basketball the way that you have. How is he on the defensive end? I mean, we have seen some of the stat sheets where he's scoring 27, 28 points a game, but how is he on the defensive end?
He is a force as well on the defensive end. Actually, he was a co-MVP of the CESAFI along with Greg Slaughter. However, statistically, he fared much better than Greg Slaughter, and it speaks volumes of the improvement that this guy has had over the past 2 seasons.
Fajardo again misses that one, gets his own rebound. It was all ball on that strip, and Paul Lee has the ball. Looking to set it up. Rafi Reyes, pull-up jumper, gets it to go. Putting UE back in the lead.
Rafi Reyes having the right idea there, not seeing Fajardo and immediately taking it strong down the lane.
Lusenya now. UE also going with the 2-3 zone. Three-pointer's no good. Paul Lee with yet another rebound. He's got 2 already in today's game. Acuna, pull-up 3. Doesn't get it to go, and rebound will come by way of Luceno. Luceno, rather. 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. Fajardo triple team, still gets the basket to go.
You know, that 2-3 zone has to collapse much tighter on Fajardo. Look at this UC lineup. This is a 4-guard lineup with Fajardo in the middle, and that's how they play CESAFI ball as well.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I mean, if you look at this lineup, other than Fajardo, I don't see anybody that can really play a pure power forward position on the court. as we send it over now to Tifat Indido for this Samsung courtside update with Samsung Imagination Lives.
Aaron, more than facing off UC for the first time today, the Warriors are more excited to play as a team all together again. They were told that this tournament is a matter of proving who the real winners are for the entire Philippines. You are here to win and not just to play. Hindi natin kilala ang kalaban, pero sanay tayo sa knockout games to work out as a group. Assistant coach Renee Baina will be leading the team today as coach Lawrence Chongson is at Malaysia, representing the Philippines in the Asian Veterans Basketball Tournament together with other former basketball veterans. Aaron and Chris.
Thanks for that report, Tip. And I believe both of them have that same feeling. Particularly them were runner-ups.
Exactly. It's a battle of runners-up of arguably two of the most competitive leagues, or two of the three most competitive leagues in the country. As we see the three-point shot there, Kelvin Julian. His team, again, explosive offensively.
Reyes over to Acuna. Pump fake, pulls it back out. Reyes wide open for three, decides to reset the play. Elmer Espiritu. Paul Lee with 10 on the shot clock. Doesn't get it to go over the backboard, and that'll go out of bounds. Let's send it over now to Trishka Echeverry for the Samsung courtside update with Samsung Imagination Lives. Trishka?
Thank you, Aaron. Coming into this game, the Webmasters have had to make quite a few adjustments. The first one being, since this is their first time to play here in the arena, Coach made them hold practice last night immediately after arriving, and another one early this morning. Also, it's the players' first time to play on an air-conditioned court. Now to combat the cold, head coach Roel Gomez had them put on innerwear underneath their jerseys. Lastly, Coach Roel also had to warn them against being distracted by the UE drums. Hailing all the way from Cebu, it is expected that they would have a smaller crowd. Despite these, the Webmasters are very excited to play, and Coach Roel is counting on his boys to put this energy on the court for them to be able to get a good start against the Warriors. Aaron and Chris?
Thanks for that report, Trishka. Okay, this might be the first time that this team has ever practiced on an air-conditioned court. Well, last night, but they are streaking hot right now on both sides of the court.
This team looks very, very deceptive. In fact, when you were talking about that natural power forward, as Jansen Abella here, Jansen Abella hits his first free throw. It's Romel Lucenio. He is their power forward at sporting jersey number 17. He's listed at 6 foot. But really, if you take a look at him beside Elmer Espiritu, parang hilangkan ni Elmer eh.
He looks probably about the same height as maybe even Paul Lee at this point. They're making him play power forward, but that's the advantage that you have when you have June Mar Fajardo in the paint.
June Mar Fajardo at one point as UC leads by 3 with 6:29 left, exploding for 50 points and 17 rebounds. It was not an official CESAFI game. It was a CESAFI Partners Cup, which is some kind of an off-season tournament in Cebu. Exploding, and that was in 2007, Aaron.
Wow, that was his first season.
That was his first season with the Webmasters.
First foul now on Pari Liagas. So UC will have a fresh 24. And I believe that even UE at this point was a little caught off guard with how the Webmasters have been playing so far. And they have been showing that they can hit that outside shot. Missing that one though is Ricardo. Pull up again, doesn't get it. But he gets his own rebound. That's 2 offensive rebounds in a row. Finally, UE will regain possession here. 6 minutes remaining in the first period of play. Paul Lee. Into Elmer Espiritu, pull up. That's a shot, doesn't get it to go. Pari Liagas with a one-handed rebound. Trying to test the defense now. Fajardo misses it, and UC will run. Setting it up, three-pointer. No good. Paul Lee with another rebound. Elmer Espiritu in the wide-open court, pull-up jumper. Put back down by Valacuña.
That was a case of bad transition defense on the part of the Webmasters. Valacuña taking advantage. And really, you've got to expect UC to play a bit better as far as transition defense goes, considering that safer Fargo, these guys stand below 6 feet, or 6 foot 1.
Paul Lee with another rebound. He has 5 rebounds already, 4 on the defensive end. Blocked there by Fajardo though. Liagas wide open. Fajardo tested his shot, doesn't get it to go. And UC will have a chance to grow this lead even bigger. It was the biggest at 5 earlier today at 11-6. UE now still controlling now the defense. They seem to have slowed down the pace a little bit. trying to see if they can win this on a half-court style of play. Pari Liagas in the paint. There, you see exactly what I'm saying.
That's something that the UE Red Warriors will back, especially in the UE season 72. Those nifty short passes down low.
So there you go. We have a timeout now. We'll be back with more of the PCCL here on Studio 23. Stay with us, please. Welcome back, everybody, to the PCCL here on Studio 23. As you take a look now at the mythical five-member Paul Lee from the UE Red Warriors, and my goodness, did this guy have a season last year in the UAP.
It was his breakout season, and he was clutch in many, many moments. Of course, that bitter pill that was the UAAP finals. However, Paul Lee still being the consistent force that he is and will be, or will continue to be, down the line for the Red Warriors. Close to 17 points per game, 14, close to 15 points per game rather in the UAAP. He averaged, and what's astounding, the 4.9 assists per game.
The one thing that I was talking about, I was talking to some of my friends about this, was the reason why Paul Lee can do what he does is because of the swagger that he has. He has a certain aura that, imagine the entire, well, half of the Araneta Coliseum was screaming his name. Instead of the team's name, they were saying Paul Lee. He has that swagger, and that's what makes him great.
Indeed, that's a good point, Aaron. It's that swagger from Paul Lee. He developed it in high school. However, it flourished in Lawrence Chongson's system. That free-flowing approach to the game. Not really an up-tempo game. Just feel the defense. If the defense is playing man or zone, Lawrence Chongson lets his players do the decision-making, and that has worked dividends for the UE Red Warriors.
And going back to that, comparing him under Coach Lawrence and him under Coach Dindo before, I'm not saying that Coach Dindo was less of a coach, but Paul Lee just stepped up his game even more, because I believe that the system suited him better at that point.
That's true. It's the system, and once again, as we see here, this breakout, these players are the ones who do the decision-making. Coach Dindo Pumaran, a very, very good tactician, mind you, and he will bring that to De La Salle next year. A very good tactician as far as that more structured offense and defense goes. But however, it's Paul Lee. It was his time to shine in that free-flowing offense.
16-11 is the score. The lead has gone wayward towards UE. And my God, what a run that we've been seeing from UC at this point.
It's a 10-0 University of the East Red Warrior run. The UE Red Warriors just capitalizing on that man-to-man defense posed by the Webmasters as we take a look at Jojo Lastimosa. Of course, the legendary Jojo Lastimosa, an alum of the aforementioned University of San Jose Recoletas Jaguars. He is one of many good and talented players to come out of that institution. However, they failed to qualify for the PCCL Sweet 16.
Paul Lee up to Elmers!
Poor baseline or off-ball defense for the Webmasters.
12-0 run for the UE Red Warriors. UC trying to stop it. That can do it. He's got, what, 6 boards already, 6 and 7 already in today's game. See, that's what we were talking about off air, that Elmer's speed causes so many mismatch problems. Not only inside with his dunking and, whatnot, but his three-point shooting also on the outside. This is probably going to be the biggest problem, maybe even more. After that three-pointer, courtesy of the UE Red Warriors. We'll cut to a short break. Stay with us here on Studio 23. Welcome back, everybody, to Studio 23. 21-16 is the score. UE went on a 10-0 run, but now UC is starting to try and cut back into that lead. As you take a look at this Smart three-point chart, Smart, we're helping Sports Regado with that three-pointer for UC. Espirito driving, fouled the basket, and he will head to that charity try.
Where I was waiting for that play for the UE Red Warriors, their athleticism with Elmer Espiritu and Val Acuña to really slash that paint and challenge June Mar Fajardo, and that's exactly what happened in that possession.
Beautiful play there by Elmer Espiritu. This guy has not been seen by UC on the floor ever, and now they're getting a little taste of what Elmer Espiritu can do for the UE Red Warriors.
This is a very precarious case of mismatches.
Yes.
You know, June Mar Fajardo poses as big a mismatch as Val Acuña and Elmer Espiritu, considering their athleticism and their length as players and as athletes.
24-16 is the score. Rigado for three again. Misses that one. Rebound, and he puts it in. Is number 10, Kayadong.
Keith Kayanong, one of the two Phil Canadians in this UC Webmaster roster, as we see an offensive foul
On Val Acuña, trying to force it a little bit. He knew that he had that size advantage. Wanted to take advantage of it, but it wasn't just there just yet. Check out that shot, that foul rather, by Val Acuña. So here we go, we got the game started again. 2 minutes to go in the first period of play. Liking the way the pace is going right now. Kayanong for three, misses it entirely, and it'll head out of bounds.
UC's offense, it may seem predictable to some because they're just jacking up three-pointers left, right, and center. But really, it's something good considering that UE is actually inviting them. Hit that three-point shot. UE will live and die by that three-point shot of UC instead of have June Mar Fajardo score what, 40 or 50 points again on them.
Wally there with the turnover, bad pass to Pari Llagas. It's 1:37 to go, and UC is still hanging in this. It's just a 6-point lead. Kayanong will swing it around. Muhammad will get it back on top. Kayanong again. Rigado misses it. Rebound to Paul Zamar, and he will set it up. Val Acuña driving, pull up against Fajardo. Fajardo misses it, but Val Acuña with that fast second jump was able to put it in.
That's what we were talking about for the UE Red Warriors, making use of their athletic advantage.
UC needs to get some offense going at this point. They were up by 5 earlier, and now see themselves down by 8. Rigado misses that one. Rigado with the rebound and that put in. Put the lead back down to 6.
5 points now for Moncrief Rogado, a member of the CESAFI Mythical 5 this season. He is the Webmasters' second option on offense.
And of course, I mean, the reason why June Mar Fajardo can do what he does is because of what Rigado does on the outside. It opens up the paint a little bit more for June Mar. They don't have to clamp down on him all that much. And this is pretty much what Coach Roel Gomez wanted to see.
Well, Coach Roel Gomez in the front. Again, a very, very good cut. UC falling asleep on the defensive end.
8 points, 5 rebounds now for Paul Lee. And this is where you see the lack of a true power forward. Rigado hitting his second three-pointer of the game. But as you were saying earlier, the lack of a true power forward, I mean, once you get past June Mar Fajardo, there's nobody else there on the defensive end.
And that's what UE is trying to do. As we see here, although it was a botched play, Paul Lee had the right idea.
That ends the first quarter of play. 28-23 is the score. 5-point lead for the runners-up from the UAAP. As you take a look at our Milo 3-in-1 for Adults Energy Warrior of the quarter, Elmer Espiritu. Unleash the champion within. We head to a break. Oh no, well, there you go. We take a look first at the highlights of the first quarter. Elmer Espiritu just taking control of the inside.
And that's what really worked for the UE Red Warriors, as we see here. Don't be surprised, because all of the highlights of the Webmasters have three-point shots in them. However, UE, Val Acuña, Elmer Espiritu, and Paul Lee just taking it strong. There will be no post-game because June Mar Fajardo is too big for Pari Llagas. That beautiful alley-oop summing up what the UE Red Warriors have done correctly in this matchup.
We'll head to a break. More PCCL after this. Welcome back to PCCL action here on Studio 23. 28-23 is the score at the end of the first 10 minutes of play. We got 10 more minutes to go before the halftime, and UC needs to find a way to get more offense going for them.
Not only that, Aaron, they've got to learn to play defense.
Yes.
That is very poor defense, and you can't do that against an explosive UP Red Warrior squad. Again, these teams are mirror images of one another. Just as explosive as UE is UC. And UC has to realize that on the defensive end.
28 points allowed in the first quarter is definitely not what Coach Roel Gomez wanted to see. I mean, no matter what league you're in, 28 points in the first period is very much frowned upon.
And we're playing 10-minute quarters here, not 12.
Exactly. Paul Lee in the open court. Gets it to Val Acuna. Espiritu kicks it back out. Acuna wide open for three. No good. Rebound to UC. And we were saying earlier, Paul Lee and Elmer Espiritu taking care of the scoring cudgels for them, combining for 18 points already in today's game. Paul Lee into Paul Zamar. Misses it. Misses the gimme basket. And UE will reset the play. Zamar for three. Gets it to go. 31-23 is the score.
UC having a very, very difficult time just guarding, whether it's inside or on the perimeter, and that's something that Roel Gomez, their coach, will clearly address come halftime.
Regado misses everything there. Paul Zamar enjoying the open court against two, fouled, and he'll head to the line for 2 free throws. Leading scorer for UC at this point is Barnett Regado. As you take a look right now at the smart three-point shot from Paul Zamar. Smart, we're helping sports. Regado and Fajardo combining for 15 points rather, and Espiritu and Paul Lee combining for 18. Zamar heading to the line, played a very important role for UE in that last UAAP season. Gets the first one to go.
It's pretty surprising, but, well, not really surprising, but in the context of how they fared the season before. But guys like Rafi Reyes and Zamar, very, very disciplined. Paul Zamar, these point guards for UE, very disciplined in the UAAP campaign. And really, when things get a little bit haywire, as we see Kelvin Julian there miss.
Fajardo making it look easy in the paint. Gets it to go. He has now 7 rebounds to go with his 9 points.
Really, it's that discipline that UE will be needing exactly in that play. Hurried shots. Expect Zamar and Rafi Reyes to inject that discipline.
Asibar, another lengthy small forward coming from UE, putting that basket in. And you got a feel for June Mar Fajardo right now. He's doing everything. And yet, you know, they are still down. Fajardo with the putback. Again, I say this kid is doing everything.
Well, it's simple. If the outside shot doesn't fall, they expect June Mar Fajardo to grab the rebound, and it's, well, right now it's happening.
8 points, 11 rebounds for June Mar Fajardo. Espiritu, the pull-up jumper, misses it. Rebound for UC, and University of Cebu will have a chance to cut this down to 5 or even 4. Fajardo in the paint. Triple team fouled the basket, and he'll head to the line for one more.
And Aaron, he's got a double-double with 7:27 in the second period.
Wow, June Mar Fajardo showing why he was being recruited by the national teams. And that is something that we might need at this point.
Well, for one, you can't teach height. He's
Yes.
6'9". His co-MVP, who you will see later, Greg Slaughter of the Green Lancers of the University of the Visayas, at 6'11". I mean, when they faced off in the finals of the CESAFI, just the Cebu Coliseum was filled to the rafters. Everyone was anticipating, was just eager, and it was a matchup that, wow, it is just a pity that the Manileños and other parts of, and people from other parts of the country were not able to see it.
Llagas in the paint, gets it to go. Using his speed now to try and get past June Mar Fajardo as we send it over to Tiff Atendido for the Samsung courtside update with Samsung Imagination Lives. Tiff?
Yes, Aaron. Despite the lead, the Warriors was the first one reminded of the following. First, execute more on your defense. Second, deny Fajardo off his rebounds. Third, maintain control of the rhythm of this game. Huwag nyo hayaang maging confident pa sila. This is ours, send them home. We have to show them why we made it in the UAAP Finals. Aaron and Chris.
Thanks for that report, Tiff.
Llagas.
Trying to bring June Mar Fajardo, even further out from the keys so that he won't be that much of a threat on the rebounds.
Yes, because Patty Llagas averaged close to 9 rebounds a game in season 72. He's one of the better rebounders. He may not be as big, obviously, as June Mar Fajardo, but he can position very well down low.
Check out this three-pointer from Gomez.
Arvin Gomez, that's the son
Yes.
of Roel Gomez there, and
That
the
is-
similarity is very, very vivid.
That is our smart three-point shot rather smart. We're helping sports. Wall Lee showing that he can shoot from the outside as well. 11 points now for the mythical 5 member of the UAAP.
And that is trouble because if you're UC, you would rather have the Red Warriors shoot those outside shots than take it strong by slashing the paint.
Wall Lee driving again. Hanks misses. Fajardo, guess what? He gets another rebound. 41-33 is the score. Just a shade under 6 minutes remaining in the half. Fajardo in the paint. Triple teamed. Offensive foul though. Good defense there by Patty Llagas, just staying put.
Staying put and taking some sort of an elbow along the way.
2 fouls now on June Mar Fajardo. Timeout now called by the UC Webmasters. We'll head to a short break. We'll have more of the PCCL here on Studio 23. Stay with us, please. You're back with us here on Studio 23, and if you like offense, this is the game to watch.
You know, generally, CESAFI teams, Cebu and Visayas teams, including the West Negros University Mustangs from the Noxea in Bacolod, really these squads are very up-tempo, shoot-first teams as we see. Well, this is
June Mar
Fajardo.
Fajardo finally taking a rest. Of course, he was being recruited by the National Developmental Team, of course, Smart Gilas Pilipinas, but he was not allowed by UC. Is that correct?
I think so, or as of the moment,
As of the moment,
that's how it stands, because June Mar Fajardo will still see action in the CESAFI next season. He is just in his 3rd year.
Wow, there's still 2 more years of June Mar Fajardo in Cebu as Elmer Espiritu showing that he has that shoot touch as we send it over to Trishka Echeverry for this report from the University of Cebu, or Samsung Courtside report with Samsung Imagination Lives. Trishka?
Aaron, for this quarter, Coach Ruel wants to see more movement and a tighter, more aggressive defense. In the first quarter, they were much too focused on offense, and Coach Ruel wants to see balance. He reminded them that the key to prevent the Warriors' fast breaks is to prevent them having easy passes. Lastly, in that last timeout, he told them that for better play execution, Coach Ruel asked for more communication and more ball rotation. Aaron and Chris?
Thanks for that report, Trishka. Exactly, because they are an open court team. They're a 3-point shooting team. It's all about ball rotation at this point.
Yeah, that's true. On the offensive end, they've been doing a good job, at least as far as making that zone, that 2-3 UE zone defense rotate and move actively to chase down those passes on the perimeter. As we see here, that ball will swing 2-3 passes in the perimeter before a shot is launched.
You see now, Gomez pull up, misses, and this is the time where we're gonna really see and test the character of UC, because look at the court right now. They have no power forward. They have no center for them in their lineup.
And that's the perfect time for the Red Warriors, not only to penetrate, but to post up. Just take it strong inside. Imagine if you've got a guy like Kevin Kilantang, jersey number 6 for the Webmasters, playing center, and Romel Lucenio, number 17, playing power forward. I mean, these guys are not tall. They're not big.
No, we're not, criticizing them on their defense.
Not at all, not at all.
But it's just, I mean, look at this. Pari Llagas in the paint against Gomez. How are you supposed to stop that? And that's exactly why you try and see what substitutions and that Coach Roel can do. And that's why he just, there was no timeout called. No timeout called. So they're going to call everybody back onto the floor. But this is exactly what I was saying, the mismatches that UE has over UC when June Mar Fajardo is sitting on that bench.
Because all of a sudden, when June Mar Fajardo is on the bench, all of a sudden, you've got at best a 4-guard, 1 small forward lineup for the Webmasters. So perhaps the UC Webmasters can play a little bit of zone.
Yes.
To help or really to augment that problem.
We were talking about UC's, chucking the three-pointers at this point. They've shot 16 three-pointers already, only making 3. That's not a percentage that you want to see from your team, especially when that's your, other weapon aside from your inside scoring from June Mar Fajardo.
And that's not the kind of numbers that the UC Webmasters put up, especially in the CESAFI. This is arguably the best shooting team from Cebu, even better than the champions, the University of the Visayas Green Lancers.
Could it also be that this is the first time that they're in the PCCL, probably one of the first times that they're seen nationwide on TV? Could that be getting to them at this point?
I think that's a good point, but what's getting to them more, because they're able to execute on offense. I don't think the problem's on offense. It's really on defense. And also, we were talking about the air-conditioned gym. They are not used to not only the temperature in the playing floor, but at the same time, these guys are used to the Cebu Coliseum and the University of San Carlos gym, the 2 places where most of the CESAFI games are held.
And even the breathing.
Yes.
I mean, it's different. It's different when you're in an air-conditioned room, in an air-conditioned Coliseum, and when you're not.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Paul Lee looking to set it up. UE with a 14-point lead with 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Elmer Espiritu laughing at his bad pass right there. And Elmer has just been feeling it here today. I mean, other than that turnover, he's just been scorching hot.
And now he's setting up his teammates. I'm not sure if we will see June Mar Fajardo for the rest of the second quarter, hence making this stretch very, very critical for the Webmasters.
Rogado for 2, gets it to go. And that's what they needed. They needed to see a basket go in. Hopefully that'll do much for their confidence as the UE Red Warriors call a timeout. We'll head to a short break. When we come back, more PCCL here on Studio 23. (47-35) is the score. UE up by 12.
This is the vaunted coaching duo of the University of the Visayas Green Lancers. Al Solis to the left, Boy Cabajo to the right. What do they have in common? They were excellent shooters in their heyday, and that's what they bring to the table in Cebu basketball, which is why we see a lot of Cebuano players, a lot of Visayan boosters, really very potent offensively from the outside.
Elmer, pull up, misses, rebound, will go to UC as it goes out of bounds. And I mean, with a coaching staff like that, that is a reason why they are a 9-time CESAFI champion.
It's 9 out of 9. The score, UV 9, rest of the CESAFI, 0.
Well, you will be able to see them later as they'll be taking on the Mapua Institute of Technology. But right now, we have the runners-up of the CESAFI and the University of Cebu taking on UE. 47-35 is the score. Just a shade over 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Val Acuña switches it over to Sumido. Misses the three. Rebound by Rogado, and the UC off and running.
You know, if you're UC, you want that because UE is not taking advantage of those mismatches. Imagine Lucenio guarding Elmer Espiritu. That's a big mismatch.
Rogado for three. Gets it to go. And that is cutting down the lead down to single digits. And that is what they wanted to do. They do not want to go into the half staring at a double-digit lead.
No one wants to, and especially against UE because the Red Warriors can blow you out right away, and especially given these mismatches.
Sumido in the paint, blocked! Some defense
7
coming
seconds to
by way of Kilantang.
That's Kevin Kilantang, as I said, one of those two Phil Canadians, as we see Barnett or Moncrief Rogado's specialty. His calling card, that three-point shot.
That smart three-point shot is brought to us by Smart. We're helping sports. Paul Lee. He has an answer for every single time the Webmasters do something. 13 points, 9 rebounds for Paul Lee. Kilantang with the putback.
Melvin Kilantang.
So it's a 9-point lead now for UE. 50 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Kevin Kilantang now is guarding Parillaga, as we mentioned earlier. I'm sorry, he's not a Phil Canadian. He hails from Kawit, Cavite, but was raised in the U.S. The Phil Canadians are Keith Cayano and V. Franz Bernil, who has yet to see action in this game.
Abelia. UC swinging the ball. Lucenio asking for it in the paint, kicks it back out. Julian turns the ball over. The lengthy Valacuña stripping that pass away straight to the basket. And there's no way that you can stop that one. 51 allowed points by UC in the first half. Three-pointer by Rogado gets it to go. He's got 16 points now in today's game. 4 3-pointers. And again, UE having an answer for everything at this point. So there you go. That ends the first half of play. 53 to 43 is the score. It's been all offense here as you take a look at Parillagas, our Milo 3-in-1 for adults. Energy warrior of the quarter. Unleash the champion within. Paul Lee and the rest of UE just taking control of things here in the second quarter.
And taking control of the inside, the interior, that's the key for the UE Red Warriors. They do not want to get into a shootout with the UC Webmasters. As we see here, June Mar Fajardo really registering his double-double as early as the 7-minute mark. However, we did not see much of him anymore because he was saddled by foul trouble. And really, Moncrief Rogado, or Barnett Rogado, as he's called by the Barker here, just smoking from the outside. However, UE taking it strong inside.
Let's send it over now to Tiff Atendido, who is talking with Elmer Espiritu. Tiff?
Elmer Espiritu. So Elmer, ano pang gagawin yung adjustments para sa second half nitong game na to?
Siguro mag-adjust lang kami sa defense kasi medyo shooter sila. Kailangan namin mag-close out pa. Kunin namin yung labas para hindi iwasan yung maka-shoot sila sa labas.
Pumasok kayo sa game na to na hindi nyo kilala yung University of Cebu. Nagulat ba kayo nung finally pagkalaro nyo biglang ang tatangkad ng isang player nila?
Oo naman. Siyempre malaki si Fajardo, nahirapan din kami kasi kulang kami sa malaki. Siguro mag-adjust na lang kami din dun sa loob para maiwasan namin yung scoring nila sa loob.
Alright, thank you Elmer. You will be right back with more of the 2009 Philippine Collegiate Champions League. Get it here only on Studio 23.
It's halftime here in the arena. Score is 53 to 43 between the UE Red Warriors and the University of Cebu Webmasters in our Sweet 16 matchup. But today is the showcase of the CESAFI teams. Of course, in our first game, UC, University of Cebu. In the second game, we have the University of Visayas. So, Mr. Chris Soler, give us the rundown of what is the makeup of the CESAFI League.
Well, the Cebu Schools Athletic Foundation Incorporated is composed of 8 teams. And we will have a third CESAFI team in the Sweet 16, the University of San Carlos Warriors, coached by Mike Reyes. And really, this is the 9th season. As we said, UV has won all 9 editions of the tournament. And for the first 4 episodes of this TIFF, the UV Green Lancers were undefeated. They ran the table from 2001 to 2004. Ironically, the team that defeated or first defeated the UC or the UV Green Lancers were the UC Webmasters in 2005. And this season as well, just like in other campaigns, it's a single round robin elimination format followed by a quarterfinal format where the number 1 team takes on the number 8, 2 takes on 7, 3 takes on 6, and 4 takes on 5. And the upper or the higher seeded teams have twice to beat advantages. The winners then proceed to the semifinals for a best of 3 series, and the finals is a best of 5 showdown. And this season, UC pushed UV, albeit only to a game 4.
So this may be, you know, only 7 games in the round robin, but this sounds like a very long lead.
It gets very heated come playoff time, and in Cebu, there is such a thing as playoff time. In fact, in the quarterfinal matchups, those 1 versus 8s, in those 4 matchups, 3 of them were stretched to a second game, including UC. I mean, the Webmasters almost ran the table. They were 6-1. They only lost to the Southwestern University Cobras. And in that quarterfinal round, they lost to Don Bosco Technology Center of Cebu, who was winless, 0-7. And really, it was an upset, 77-74 that game, as we now, well, proceed to our halftime highlights.
Yeah, well, let's take a look first at our stats coming here today in our first half. Of course, UC and UE going head-to-head against each other. 51% from the field are the UE Red Warriors. That is phenomenal.
That is phenomenal, and as we said, it's because of the poor defense that UC is playing. At the same time, in rebounds, that's 27 boards for the Red Warriors. Should be 27 compared to just 26 for the Webmasters. A lot of that, of course, from June Mar Fajardo, whom we were corrected, only has grabbed 9 and not 10 rebounds. Fast break points to the advantage of UE. However, these small, relatively small totals do not reflect the high-octane tempo of the ball game. And turnover points, we were talking about this earlier, Aaron. It's 11-2 for UE, and that's because the Webmasters really slow on transition, getting back on defense. And UE, of course, with those lengthy, the Valacuñas and the Elmer Spiritus, of course, Paul Lee, they are taking it strong on the break.
And considering the fact that UE hasn't been committing that much turnovers because they've slowed the game down to what they wanted to do. As we take a look now at Paul Lee, who has been phenomenal also here today. He has been the reason why UE is doing what they're doing right now. 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists with 2 steals to boot.
He's doing everything. He's doing everything. Has surpassed his assists average, is right there in his scoring average, and he's setting his teammates up. If he's not doing the scoring, he's setting up his teammates, especially on the break, recognizing the mismatches.
For the University of Cebu, it has been Barnett Rogado, who has been awesome for the Webmasters, hitting 4 3-pointers already in today's game.
16 points to go along with 5 boards and 2 assists. He is the main complement to June Mar Fajardo, who has scored 14 points in 14 minutes, saddled by foul trouble. So that's 1 point a minute, and he's got 9 rebounds to go with that.
Paul Lee, Pari Llagas, and Elmer Espiritu are leading scorers for UE. Barnett Regado, June Mar Fajardo, and Janson Abelia leading scorers for University of Cebu. But as you can see, UE has already 3 players with 12 points or more, and that's been tremendous for them.
And that's the big 3 for the Red Warriors. They were consistent in the UAAP. They are showing up today, more than making up for the absence of Toto Bandaying and Rudy Linganay.
So we get the second half started, third quarter started, 53 to 43 is the score. Paul Lee will look to continue what he's done so far. He's on track to have a triple-double in today's game. Paul Lee up to Elmer Espiritu again! 55 to 43, second time they've done that in today's game, showing that they deserve a whole lot of recognition in this tournament.
Just breathless.
Fajardo,
June Mar Fajardo.
it might be, less flashy, but it still gets you the same 2 points back up on the court.
But that alley-oop, really, that's UE's response to the 2-3 zone. The Webmasters have now shifted from a man-to-man or a floating zone to an upfront 2-3 zone. And this, I think, will be better for the Webmasters.
Acuna 3, misses. Rebound to Pari Llagas. And Paul Lee will reset the play. Paul Lee now with 7 assists. Acuna. Back to Paul Lee for 3. Gets it to go!
They were inviting Paul Lee to take the shot, and well, he said gladly.
2 3-pointers now for Paul Lee. 16 points. Regado. And UC needs to find an answer for Paul Lee at this point. They cannot have him doing this the whole game. Fajardo, ball stripped away, and it'll stay with UC as we send it over now to Trishka Echeverry for the Samsung Courtside Update with Samsung Imagination Lives. Trishka?
Aaron, coming into this second half, Coach Ruel Gomez had a lot of reminders for his boys. On offense, the first thing he did was acknowledge that UE is the taller team, which is why they've been having difficulty rotating that ball. He resolved that they need to play smarter. Coach Ruel told them that they need to learn to look at the entire court when searching for their shooters. On defense, he emphasized only one thing, and that was the need for the Webmasters to deny the Warriors that first crucial long pass to be able to prevent those easy baskets. Overall, it's not going to be easy to narrow down that lead, but they will slowly strive to do just that. Aaron and Chris?
Thank you for that report, Trishka. UE now has their biggest lead of the game at 15. And Coach Ruel Gomez needs to find some answers.
Especially on the defensive end, we can't stress that enough. And I think that's the reason why the Webmasters shifted to a 2-3 zone. But that spectacular, that highlight play earlier, that alley-oop from Lee to Espiritu, that, I think, is one of the weaknesses of the 2-3 zone. Pag umangat ka kasi, so aangat yung dalawa, aangat din yung tatlo, the baseline is left wide open. And if you've got someone as athletic as Elmer Espiritu who can just catch anything and dunk anytime, that's going to be a problem.
6 for 6 now is Paul Lee from that free throw line. And, there are so many different ways to, so to say, zone break. And that is one of the most tremendous zone busters you can think of, because not only does it get you your 2 points, it also has your team thinking, okay, wait a minute, maybe we shouldn't do the zone anymore. It works even more than 3-pointer sometimes when you can alley-oop the ball like that.
And it really affects the mental or psychological side of the opponent, because here we are trying to prevent the 3-pointer, here we are trying to prevent that entry pass, and instead we get dunked on.
Exactly. Paul Lee now with that smart 3-point shot. Smart, we're helping sports. 17-point lead now for UE, and they have a chance to put it up by either 19 or 20 points. Elmer Espiritu wasn't looking at the pass there, so Paul Lee turns the ball over. Julian to Regado. Open shot is Gomez. Misses it. Fajardo has the ball tipped away, but UC will regain possession. Let's send it over now to Tiff Atendido for the Samsung Courtside Update with Samsung Imagination Lives. Tiff?
Aaron, giving away 43 points in the first half is not normal for the Red Warriors. So Coach told the boys to stretch out on the Webmasters shooters. Be more patient on their defense, and once they have the ball, they have to run. Wag natin sila antayin. Focus lang tayo. Remember, it's a knockout game. Aaron and Chris?
Thanks for that report, Tiff. And exactly what we were saying earlier, that it just looks like it's at a point where the team who is playing the better offense is going to win. There's no defense on the floor for either team.
Well, there is defense in the name of June Mar Fajardo, but UE is doing a good job to not take it strong to June Mar Fajardo.
They're trying to find other ways to get around him. And as you can see, a three-pointer coming by way of Julian. First three-pointer for him in the game. 14-point lead for the Red Warriors. Paul Zamar setting up the play. UC still in the zone. Valacuña answers back with a three of his own.
That's another way to break the zone. And, well, UE's man offense is working. UE's zone offense is working. And it doesn't look like these guys haven't been together the past 2 or 3 weeks.
Fajardo pull up, no good. Paul Lee gets his double-double with that rebound. Only 3 assists shy of a triple-double. Valacuña dishes it back out. Espiritu for 3, misses it. Rebound by Rogado rather, and Luceño will get it to Gomez. Rogado driving after the pump fake, pull up, gets it to go. Cutting the lead down to 15, and UE will call a timeout to make sure that their defense is on the same page. We head to a short break. 15-point lead for the Red Warriors here on Studio 23.
UC will have something to say about that. Still a lot of time in this game, and as we see that rebound there by Mark Tano, he is, well, I think, the only legitimate power forward outside of, or rather, yeah, the only legitimate big man outside of June Mar Fajardo.
Paul Lee up ahead. Elmer Espiritu saves it, goes out of bounds. Oh no, there's a foul called on Rogado. Paul Lee now just 3 assists shy of a triple-double here today.
And I'm not betting against
Me neither.
at all because UE is playing excellent team basketball, and Paul Lee, despite being the shooting guard and despite being the first option on offense, really is distributing the ball very well.
With 15 minutes to play, 1 assist every 5 minutes is not that hard to do. Paul Lee in the Pariliagas fouled, and he'll head to the line for 2 free throws. I think Paul Lee is reacting because he knows that he's that close to a triple-double. He was screaming that Pariliagas didn't put that in. He really thought he was going to get that one.
But no worries for Paul Lee because there's still 4:56 in the third quarter. So he has a lot of time in his hands.
He'll have a lot of time. Pariliagas to the line right now. He has 14 points in the game to go with his 4 rebounds. Coach Rene Buena doing very good, filling in for Coach Lawrence here today.
Of course, he's got vast coaching experience. Coach Rene Buena coached the San Beda College Red Lions earlier this decade. Seems like a long time already when we say this decade, and it's ending in a month.
Yes. Tano misses, rebound, Paul Lee. Paul Lee running, taking it all the way by himself, throws it to Val Acuña for 3. Misses it, rebound will go to Regado.
You know, uncharacteristically there, UE rushing its offensive set. It hasn't done that as much, of course, to its advantage in this game.
3-pointer by UC misses. That was by Regado Mohammed. Tutano for 3. Gets it to go.
Yes, that was not a fluke. If Pariliagas here in Manila can shoot an outside shot, or Alden Ramos of FEU, Mark Tano can do that for the Webmasters as well.
Something in the water over there that teaches them all how to shoot. Pariliagas to Paul Lee. Pull up inside to Elmer Espiritu, dishes it back out. Paul Zamar for 3. Gets it to go.
Once again, that patient offensive set, that discipline that we were just discussing and conversing about in the first half, injected by this guy, Paul Zamar.
It really looks like UE missed playing with each other. You know that they
very much
still know exactly where each and every one of them is going to be. As Tano gets that 2-pointer to go, but they still have the perfect feel for how all of them are.
And that this chemistry does not bode well for the rest of the UAAP next season, even if, of course, they will be missing 5 key players.
Paul Lee for 3. Gets it in. Wow, Paul Lee with an awesome game. 3 3-pointers, 21 points in the game, 10 boards, 7 assists. With a 17-point lead, we'll head to a break. UE in well control of today's game. Point lead, 71-55. Coach Roel Gomez was asking his players to start playing defense. 72 points with 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go. That is a lot. Smart 3-point shot, rather. Smart, we're helping sports from both sides of the court. Paul Lee doing everything right now. 21 points, 11 boards. And I'm sorry, they gave him another assist. He's got 8 assists now. 6 for 12 from the field, 6 for 6 from the line.
And very reminiscent of last week where Letran defeated the former defending champions. De La Salle University, JP Belenchon had 10 3-pointers and 36 points. Paul Lee says, well, maybe I could do some of that too.
Val Acuña misses, rebound by Ayala, steps on the line, and the ball will switch sides. 2:56 remaining, and the main thing here is that June Mar Fajardo has only scored 2 points in this half.
You know, UE, just like in that Ateneo series, living and dying by the 2-3 zone. And look at that, another 4th turnover.
Paul Lee gets it into Rafi Reyes, gets it in, that gives him 9 assists. He can have a triple-double by the 3rd quarter.
One short of a triple-double, and yes, you are right, Aaron. Paul Lee knows it.
Right? You can see him smiling.
That wide grin, yeah.
Almost picked off. Ball coming to us, getting us involved in the game. Paul Lee thinking that maybe we can get him his 10th assist. Sorry, not going to happen, dude.
I don't think so. Maybe you can, Aaron, but I definitely cannot.
Paul Lee, 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. Julian for 3, gets it in!
And Julian for 3.
Cutting the lead back down to 16. 2 3-pointers for Julian. Paul Lee driving, pull up, gets it.
This guy, were we invited to this party? Were we invited to Paul Lee's party?
Julian now, Mohamed Fajardo. Foul on Parillagas, I believe. Oh no, that's Ayala. 76-58 is the score. Paul Lee, look at this play. Pulled back, nobody even near him. Stepping on the line, but I think they still gave him the 3 on it. Being generous today.
Because JP Belencian has a record that he wants to break.
Somebody wants to break it. Fajardo fouled again. And I believe that'll mean free throws. Oh no, it's only the second team foul. 1:52 remaining. Tano for 3. Misses it. Rebound to Ayala. And Rafi Reyes will set the play up for the UE Red Warriors. Espiritu.
You see now going back to a man defense, seems that worked better, even if theoretically it should not.
Paul Lee blocked is Ayala. He'll head to the line for 2 free throws though, as he was fouled by Fajardo. That's his 3rd foul of the game. Oh, it was the 2nd foul rather on Mohamed. Free throws now. Let's take a look at this. This is, there they go. It was a foul from behind by Mohamed. Ayala misses the first free throw.
Garrett Ayala, one of the rookies of the UE Red Warriors from that fabled San Beda staple. And he got a lot of playing time in the NCAA Juniors tournament.
So there it is. Apparently, they have given Paul Lee his 10th assist because of that pass. So now, Paul Lee, 21 points, 11 boards, 10 assists. In the 3rd quarter, he already has a triple-double. And that's why he's smiling like that right now.
And now he will look for his shot, and there you go.
Oh! 23 points for Paul Lee. Even our statisticians are starting to lose count of what's going on right now. Here's that double clutch shot. And, you know, it also helps that he's part of the national developmental team now. You know, he's getting more training, other places, expanding his game even further at this point.
You know, Aaron, this guy will only get better, and we haven't seen the best of Paul Lee. Of course, next season, Elmer Espiritu, Parillagas, Bandaying, Linganay, Valacuña, those guys will not be around. But Paul Lee will still flourish, and even as a passer.
And you have to remember that James Martinez is coming back next season. Imagine watching how well of a backcourt that would be of a Paul Lee and James Martinez.
You know, I had a conversation with James Martinez earlier in the UAAP season, and he said, actually sa backcourt, okay kami. No? I mean, Rafi Reyes will still be there, Paul Zamar, two excellent point guards, steady point guards. Up front, there will be questions, but I'm sure the Red Warriors will be able to address that just as they were able to address some of the issues that they had this season. Imagine defeating a team as good as the FEU Tamaraws 2 straight times.
Yes, without previously said James Martinez. 79-58 is the score. Tying now, it's the biggest lead rather of the game for the UE Red Warriors. 49 seconds to go in the third quarter. 81 points scored by UE so far in today's game. And this has just been an offensive onslaught by the Red Warriors. Abella into Fajardo, spinning, pull up, gets it to go, and the foul.
Here we see the footwork. June Mar Fajardo is not just a beanpole, he's got the footwork. Actually, that's what he worked on throughout the
Five
summer
balls for
and
Bal
the change, the improvement vastly seen in CESAFI 2009 action, because not only will he back you down, previously he was just the back down, okay, I've sealed you, just give me the ball, I'm in good position, he's got the footwork.
Yes, and it's very much seen, especially when he gets the ball not as close as he most probably used to. You know, he has more confidence in his footwork now that he can drop step, do a spin move, hook shot, maybe even a fadeaway. He has that touch even from that free throw line.
And I think that's the only part of his game that needs improvement. And a great steal, great recognition there.
Even bringing down the ball. June Mar Fajardo asking for it in the paint. Double teamed, blocked. But the UC will regain possession. Abella for three. It's the side of the rim. And Paul Lee noticing that there's only one last shot remaining in this quarter.
And I will not be surprised if he takes it.
Paul Lee driving, dishes it to Acebar, driving, pull up, fouled by Fajardo, and I believe that is his third.
Ganun na lang yung bilib natin kay Paul Lee, because he's an excellent shooter. We know that he's an excellent scorer, but at the same time, recognizing that the defense was closing in on him, nakabuenas pa si Ken Acebar with the foul.
Acebar to the line for two free throws. There's still 2.2 seconds remaining in this quarter, so there could be one last shot still for UC. Lead is at 21 yet again. Biggest lead was 23. We've only had 6 lead changes in the game, and it all came in the first quarter. And after that, UE showing what they're made of. Julian, half-court shot. Oh, almost gets it in.
I thought they could sink even those.
It is 83.
So there you go. At the end of 3 quarters, 83 to 61. It is a lead for the UE Red Warriors, and Paul Lee is our Milo 3-in-1 for Adults Energy Warrior of the quarter. Unleash the champion within. Triple-double already for Paul Lee. 25 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 7 for 13 from the field, 8 for 8 from that free throw line. And it's just been a tremendous game for him.
And really for Paulie and for the UE Red Warriors, extending that advantage in the third quarter. I actually thought that the UC Webmasters would play better with that zone, but really Paulie exploding.
We'll head to a break. Fourth quarter coming up in a bit. Welcome back, everybody, to PCCL action here on Studio 23. Both teams having 4 turnovers the last quarter, but the problem with University of Cebu was that UE was able to have 6 points off of those turnovers, and that was at the beginning of the quarter, which sparked a huge run for UE as Fajardo scores again in the paint.
And that was a very critical part or juncture of the game, that opening sequence in the third quarter, because UC shifted to a zone, but it wasn't as active as we thought it would be, and at the same time, Paulie was just hot.
And Elmer Espiritu dunking on them from behind that zone. Rafi Reyes tips the ball, but Fajardo with the rebound, giving him 12 rebounds in the game. Rogado. Julian, UC looking for Fajardo in the paint. Double team, travels. There was a triple team on him. He didn't know what to do, so got to give him credit for that one. 83 to 63 is the score. 20-point lead for the second placers of the UAAP. And if you look at the lineup right now for UE, you could probably see that Rene Baina was looking at maybe what could happen next year, sitting down Barillagas, Valacuña, and Elmer Espiritu, trying to see which other big men he could use come next season.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've got Jairol Flores, jersey number 17. Of course, Ken Acebar and Garing Ayala. That's the front line for the Red Warriors. And all 3 of these guys will see action in season 73.
Three-pointer.
By Flores.
Coming by way of Flores.
That was Tyrone Flores announcing his entry to the nation and
Yes.
to the UAAP community as well.
Making the PCCL know that he's going to be part of this season. Ricardo kicks it back in, and it's Lucenio with that easy basket. Rafi Reyes, the speedy Rafi Reyes that he is, trying to take advantage of numbers there, but decides to pull it back out. Paul Lee calling out the play. Passing it into Rafi Reyes, who drives it, pull out, fade away, jumper. And UE can't miss if they try it at this point.
And Rafi Reyes, he got the ball near the baseline. He saw that he couldn't take it strong, so nilabas lang, and I mean, just the smarts of this player. And I am really a fan of Rafi Reyes. He is not flashy, but he's your prototypical point guard. And with James Martinez next year, this is going to be a good combo, a good point guard combo to watch.
They would probably switch Paul Lee up to a 3 more and have
Perhaps.
Rafi Reyes, James Martinez, Paul Lee lineup.
Yeah, and,
that 1, 2, 3.
and don't forget Paul Zamar,
Exactly.
of course. So perhaps the need can arise.
Put back there by Lucenio, trying to spark some life here into the Webmasters. Rafi Reyes driving all the way, finds Paul Lee, pump fake. But look at that ball control from him. Driving, foul, almost gets the basket. And he'll head to the line for 2 more free throws. And again, to the beginning of the broadcast, we were saying that it's because of the swagger of Paul Lee that he can do these kinds of things.
He is making the San Juan Arena his personal playground. I mean, those dribble moves.
Crossing over like it was a tennis ball. 9 for 9 from the free throw line. Let's send it over now to Trishka Echeverry for the Samsung Courtside Update with Samsung Imagination Lives. Trishka?
As what you guys have been mentioning constantly, defense is what the Webmasters have been struggling on. They've tried man-to-man and adjusted and made it zone, but they've still been unable to weaken UE's strong offense. Coming into this last quarter, Coach Roel Gomez's reminders were simple. He wants consistency on offense, while on defense, he told them to just stay close and to make every shot as difficult for the Warriors as they can. The atmosphere of the huddle in their last timeout was quite light, no pressure on the boys. They have not lost hope, but simply put, the Webmasters are also looking forward to enjoying the rest of their short stay here in Manila before they leave tomorrow. Aaron and Chris?
Thanks for that report, Trishka. That's also a very big thing there. You know, I mean, these players are all the way from Cebu. You know, it's nice to be able to join a league like the PCCL, and you get to play against teams like UE. It's so much experience for you.
And I think the PCCL will only expand, and the Webmasters, at least with this experience stuck under its belt, this will pay off in the long run for the program.
Paul Lee with the miss. Acebar, spin move. Charging call there. There was an elbow on the turnaround. You could probably get away with that. Not in front of the referee, but you know, you could probably get away with that. Here's that elbow. Oh, there it is. It's all about angles. That's what the coaches in the NBA always say. It's all about angles. 6:54 remaining in the game. It is a 20-point lead for the guys in white, the UE Red Warriors. Fajardo in the paint, fouled, and he'll head to the line for 2 more free throws.
Bulldozing his way there, and the UC Webmasters recognizing that Barry Llagas is not on the floor, Elmer Espiritu is not on the floor as well, just giving Fajardo the ball.
And, you know, we were talking about experience. This is great experience for June Mar Fajardo in the sense of, you know, you are going up against Barry Llagas and the rest of these players from UE. You'll learn so much when it comes to playing back in the CESAFI. With that, let's send it over now to Tiff Atendido for the Samsung Courtside Update with Samsung Imagination Lives. Tiff?
Yes, Aaron, bida ni Coach Lawrence bago siya umalis, panalunan ang laro ngayon para pagbalik niya, meron pa silang laro. Back to the ballgame, deny the Webmasters shots, minimize their scoring. 18 points in the third quarter is still bad. Relax lang kayo, pero wala pa rin kampanya. There is still a lot of time, pero sa atin na itong panalo, alagaan naman natin. Mas maraming laro, mas magkakasama pa tayo. Aaron and Chris.
Thanks for that report, Tiff. And, you know, as much as we were saying that UC was having a trouble on defense, UE has not played the most spectacular defensive game here today.
But actually, that I think, or we get that impression because they're playing zone.
Yes.
And the zone is, I mean, if you get down and dirty with the zone, it will work wonders. And UE knows very well that UC will not change its game plan. It's just two things. Give the ball down low to Fajardo or take the outside shot. So it's better to risk the outside shot, hence put up that 2-3 zone and invite the Webmasters to take the shot.
Let's take a look now at, barring any miracles at this point, a 21-point lead is still a 21-point lead, make that a 23-point lead. With UE going up against FEU, what will UE have to do to make sure that they still have that stamp on FEU saying, yeah, we beat you twice in the UAP. We'll beat you one more time here in the PCCL.
Well, I think it will be about exploiting mismatches once again. Although FEU has the players to defend the likes of Espiritu and Acuna. I mean, with Paul Sanga and Aldrich Ramos down low. But I think really it'll be a tit-for-tat game with the mismatches as we see there. Kelvin Julian, one of those few breakaway bust-outs for the UC Webmasters. So, tit-for-tat for both coaches.
Yes.
Lawrence Chongson is back, and of course, Glenn Capasio, who steered the Tamaraws to the Sweet 16 victory over the Arellano University Chiefs.
We were talking about Julian earlier. He has 13 points now in today's game. Abelia kicks it on over to Regado. Regado gets the three-pointer to go. 21 points, 5 3-pointers. And this whole tournament has just been a complete shootout, hasn't it?
Wow, we've seen those outside shots. We've seen, I mean, these guys don't look as if they're in off-season mode.
Yeah.
No way.
Barillagas dishes it in. The ball Lee misses the gimme basket. Imagine that. The guy's been working so hard. The easiest basket for him, he misses it. Rebound. Reyes driving behind the back. Beautiful play. Ball Lee off of the glass and he gets it in. 29 points to go with his 11 rebounds and 10 assists. We have a timeout now. We'll head to a break. We'll come back with more PCCL action here on Studio 23. On your screens right now are the Green Lancers of the University of Visayas. You have been following this team very much, as well as the Mapua Institute of Technology. What can we expect from this game?
Well, again, for UV, they will have a significant advantage with Greg Slaughter, but at the same time, and really this is not to put down the UC Webmasters. In fact, one of the pitfalls of the Webmasters in that best-of-5 series against the Green Lancers was that UV was a lot deeper. And UV is deeper and a bit bigger because, well, the Green Lancers, for one, they've got a 6'5" power forward in Adrian Lau, and at the same time, really potent guards and shooters in Chris Deputado and Richam Denison. These guys are veterans in the PCCL. Remember in 2007, the Green Lancers marched all the way to the finals and came up short against Ateneo de Manila.
So this University of Visayas team, they're not a joke. They're not here to just come to Manila. You know what I mean?
And they have the experience and they have what it takes. As we see there, once again, Barnett Rogado just
got 23 points
shooting
already.
the lights out for the Webmasters.
But I mean, you were saying that they reached the finals in 2007 here in the PCCL, lost to Ateneo de Manila. Have they become a better team since then?
I think so. We were talking about that earlier. This experience, it may look so bad on screen because Paul Lee is putting up the numbers and it's a 101-80 game. But take note, this blowout will help the UC Webmasters because it, as you said, it expands horizons as much as it builds character.
This is your first time to play in a league like this. I mean, I have not seen any CESAFI games, but this is, you know, first of all, in an air-conditioned arena. It's on television. This will expand and give you so much experience that the next time that you guys come around here on this tournament, which I do believe they will, they do have the talent to do that, they will be a tougher team, especially with June Mar Fajardo with 2 more years
Yes.
in that blue and gold uniform.
Yes.
Rafi Reyes driving, misses. Fajardo with the rebound. And UC with 3 minutes to go will look to try and cut this lead down as respectable as possible. Fajardo in the paint, he'll head to the line for 2 free throws.
That was a double team, but June Mar Fajardo squeezing his way in. I mean, these are the things that Fajardo, well, I think has seen in the CESAFI, but with, for instance, someone like Pari Llagas, just banging him inside. I mean, that's going to help this guy develop even further.
And I mean, you have people like Pari Llagas, the smaller than you, but very strong center guarding you. Mautak. And then you have the Elmer Espiritu guarding you, also very athletic, very long. You know, very different people guarding you. You'll have a different feel of it. And when they were in the finals against University of Visayas, he had just Greg Slaughter going up against him the whole entire game.
Yes, and also with the league in the CESAFI, because outside of those 2 guys, we don't have as many big men
Yes.
in the CESAFI. So really, June Mar Fajardo getting different looks, it will only develop him further. And really for the UC program, I mean, talking about the Webmasters, this was just their 2nd finals appearance in the 9 times that the CESAFI has been held. They first made it in 2005, of course, played against UV, and again 2009. The PCCL will be very good for the program,
Yes.
which has really got it in stride and got it in shape already. I mean, even, for instance, the Far Eastern University Tamaraos have a 3rd-string point guard in Marty Pereabras. And I think you're familiar with him, Aaron, covering the UAAP. He was the MVP of the CESAFI Juniors tournament last year, and he played for the UC Baby Webmasters.
Pari Llagas doesn't get it to go. 101-83 is the score. Just trying to close out the game. Fajardo there will head to the line again, I believe, for 2 more free throws. He's got 23 points, 12 rebounds, 1 block in his PCCL debut. 4 fouls now on Duran. And this guy, June Mar Fajardo, has a whole lot of potential. 5 for 7 from the free throw line.
Of course, also another UC product playing in the UAAP is Jan Colina.
Oh, yes,
He was a Mythical 5, I think a 2-time Mythical 5 member for the UC Baby Webmasters before trooping to Manila to play for Adamson.
June Mar Fajardo missing that one. 9 for 13 from the free throw line. 23 points, 12 boards. You see on your screens. Make that 10 for 14 now. Paul Lee almost loses it there. Just a shade over, 2 minutes to go.
Last 2 minutes.
Zamar calling out the play. UC going to a man-to-man now in the dying minutes. Charging called on Paul Zamar. There's a little bit of a push-off there, so it'll switch sides. 1:51 to go in this game.
See there, Arvin Gomez still playing very scrappy defense despite the blowout score. And I think these teams have the right mentality.
Yes.
I mean, even San Sebastian Cavite, they got blown out by the San Beda College Red Lions. You know, just the right attitude. Play with the big boys, get the recognition. That recognition will in turn bolster your basketball program, help in the recruitment process. And really the PCCL, that's what it's all about. Just bridging the divide. That is a basketball mad country, the Philippines.
And especially for players like Rogado and Rogado and Julian that can honestly say, you know what? I scored 25 points on the UE Red Warriors. I can do it on anybody.
Big time for confidence building.
Yes. 107 now remaining. Paul Lee almost stripped that ball away. Mohammed to Gomez. Rogado from way downtown. It's nothing.
His first air ball of the game, that's for sure. I mean, this guy has been spot on pretty much for the whole game. And you know, even Rogado, he has the experience. He's the 3-point champion of the CESAFI in 2008.
Okay.
And he has the experience. He was a transferee from the University of Southern Philippines Foundation Panthers, another CESAFI member school, and really transferring to UC's prized recruit, a veteran.
40 seconds remaining in this game. Sumido misses it. Ball, Barillagas
Did not even jump.
just being in the right place at the right time. 103-86 is the score. Mohammed misses it. Zamar with the rebound. There's still one more possession remaining in this game. Sumido gets his basket in. He was the last remaining UE Warrior not to score in today's game.
The future of the Red Warriors on display here. And as for the Webmasters, I'm sure they will be going
Yes.
back to Cebu with heads held up high. That proverbial, of course, that cliche, but nonetheless, really a good performance here. I mean, of course, June Mar Fajardo getting his numbers, and Moncri Fragado
Final
showing
score,
Manila and
86
showing
for
the
the
entire
UC
country what he
Webmasters,
can do, as well as
105
Kelvin
for the
Julian and
UE
Jansen
Red
Abella.
Warriors.
But it was the UE show today. They showed why they are one of the best shooting teams in the nation.
Yes, in the nation, not just in the UAAP.
No, you can include any league right now, and they are arguably the best shooting team from anywhere on the floor. 105-86 is the score as you take a look at our Milo 3-in-1 for Adults Energy Warrior of the game. Unleash the champion within. Paul Lee, 31 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 9 for 18 from the field, 3 steals, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc, 10 for 10 from that free throw line. I could keep on going here, but I need to start breathing because this guy can play.
That 10 for 10, astounding. That is why he is our best player. And, you know, he's such a multifaceted player. He's got so many different dimensions to his game. He was the energy warrior of the game, the power warrior, whichever warrior you want to call it. He was the man today.
31, 10, 11 and 10 with 3 steals. And I don't even want to know how many turnovers he had because it was just amazing play for number 20 for the UE Red Warriors. That pretty much does it. Coming up next, University of the Visayas will take on the Mapua Institute of Technology. For Chris Soler, of course, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks very much. A pleasure, Aaron.
Direct Raul Diocapo, our producer, Manu Neri, all the people in the van. Thank you guys for dropping by here on Studio 23. Stay tuned for UV and Mapua, only here on Studio 23. Peace.